This is Barbara Clouser with Myths, Miracles, and Wonders on the Power of Hypnosis. Now please, don't touch that dial. Stay with me for a while, as I have another true story to share. Now today's show is entitled Healing the Inner Child. Let's begin. It was very painful for Sarah to sit across from my desk, as she was so thin that her hips ached for the lack of muscle tone. Her bones were protruding and seemed to pinch her paper-thin skin. She had a very severe case of anorexia. She weighed only 82 pounds. Her eyes were sunken deep in her head, and she had very dark circles under her eyes that accentuated her skeletal face. No, she was a pitiful sight to behold in my heart, and it ached for her just to see her in so much physical and emotional pain. Now, Sarah told me that she had tried all conventional methods to get well, but to no avail. And at last her doctor recommended to come see me for hypnosis. Sarah had come for regression therapy. I helped Sarah over to the table, flipped up the large pillow, and asked her to lie down with her hands facing palms down at her side. She was so weak that I had to place her feet on the sofa. I gently took off her shoes and covered her with a blanket for her comfort. I had soft melodious music playing in the background, and the lights were very dim. I asked Sarah to look up at the ceiling. I had a blue light flickering in that area. I told her to stare at that area until her eyes grew tired, and then simply to close them, which she did almost immediately. I gently began to take Sarah back in time. And I asked her to go back to the time in her past when she did not feel safe. I asked her for her earliest recollection of that feeling. I added that she would feel no discomfort during this time, and that she would feel detached and impartial as watching a movie on a screen. And without hesitation she said, "My daddy is scaring me." I asked, "How old are you?" She replied, "I'm 3. I asked her what was happening that was frightening her. She answered me in a child's voice, "My daddy is running all over the house. Oh, it's so dark and my mommy's not home, and I'm so frightened." I asked her what she was afraid of, and she said, "Daddy's asking me to look under his bed because he thinks there's monsters under there. He's so scared, and he's crying. Oh, I don't want to look under his bed, but he makes me. He pushed my head down and hit the floor really, really hard. It hurt. When I looked, there was no monsters under there, just some fuzzies in his old, smelly slippers." I asked her what else was going on, and she said, "Daddy is turning on every light in the house because he's afraid of the dark, and he keeps running around." I said, "You are fine, you are safe, and you do not need to be afraid, for I am with you." When I moved Sarah forward in time, she told me that her mother was in the hospital having her brand new baby sister that very night. She said that her father was mentally ill, and he was having a nervous breakdown. I asked Sarah again what made her feel unsafe. She recalled many nights that her father would sneak outside her bedroom window, scratch on the screen with his fingernails, and threaten to come in and get her. She could hear him laughing wildly. There were also many nights that he would sneak into her bed and abuse her. This went on for many, many years. But somehow she managed to bury all of this in her subconscious mind, all this dysfunction and abuse of an innocent child. She could hardly recall any of her past childhood, so I moved her forward in time. She said she was married, and although she didn't have any internal problems, she buried them really well, I thought. One day she was working in her flower garden, something that she loved to do, when all of a sudden the aroma of the roses and the gardenias in her garden put her into a tailspin. The sweet aroma of the plants placed Sarah into an uncontrollable panic, and she began shaking so bad she appeared to go nearly into convulsions. Why, her eyes were twitching, her heart began pounding, and she ran screaming into the house. Her husband had been mowing the lawn, and he was shocked by her bizarre behavior. Why, she was inconsolable and started screaming to her husband, "Tear all of those flowers out of the garden. I can't stand them." Of course, her husband wouldn't do such a thing. He refused. So Sarah ran back out into the yard and began pulling, yanking, cutting, tearing wildly at all the plants. She removed every single one of them while her husband looked on in shocked silence. Nothing could stop her. It took her hours, but she didn't stop until the last plant was gone. After that was completed, she raked them all up into a large pile and covered them with a tarp. She then ordered her husband to burn them or bury them. Now I regressed Sarah back into time to find out what triggered this violent outburst, and this is what I heard. It was the day of her grandfather's funeral. It was her mother's father who had passed away, and her mom loved her dad very, very much, and she was taking his passing very hard. Sarah said her mom cried long and hard and often, and she was only 10 years old at the time. And on the day of the viewing of the body, her mother made her go to the funeral parlor. No, Sarah had begged her mother not to make her go, but to no avail. When they entered the funeral parlor, it reeked with a sweet, pungent smell of flowers. Oh, flowers were everywhere, and when that aroma penetrated Sarah's nostrils, her stomach turned into a knot. And Sarah's mother was holding her hand very tightly, oh, so tight that it hurt, while they were walking down the aisle toward the casket. Her mother began sobbing, "Daddy, oh, Daddy, I love you so. Why did you leave me? I didn't get to say goodbye." Sarah was frozen in fear, as the other family members were also crying and displaying much grief around this small child. Suddenly, without warning, Sarah's mother said, "Kiss your grandfather goodbye." Well, Sarah's heart was gripped by terror, and she begged, "No, no, please don't make me, no. I don't want to kiss him, he's dead." Sarah's mother went into a silent rage. She grabbed the back of Sarah's head by her hair and shoved the child's small face into the coffin. Sarah's scream was blood-curdling. She cried, "His face is as cold as a rock." Her mother hissed between her clenched teeth, "Kiss him, kiss him." She forced Sarah's lips against the cadaver. With that kiss, a small piece of Sarah died that day, too. I gently took Sarah away from that scene. I told her that she was safe and secure, and on the count of 10, she would open her eyes. I told her she would feel fantastic, and she would remember everything without feeling any emotional pain. As Sarah sat up, she opened her eyes, and she said, Oh my! Now I understand for the first time in my life why I tore all those flowers from my garden. Why just looking at those flowers put me into a tailspin. It was the aroma. It was the aroma from the garden. It was the same aroma at my grandfather's funeral when my mom forced me to kiss him. Yes, I said, this was buried in your subconscious mind, and this information began to leak into your memory, causing you pain, making you so frightened you weren't able to eat. You see, your body is the only thing you have control over. And with your abusive background, that control was taken from you, away from you, when you were a child. She smiled and added, I cannot believe how much better I am feeling. Sarah says all the answers are coming together and it's making sense. And I told her, I hope you realize now you can live and eat because your body does deserve good nutrition, Sarah. Don't ever forget that, and no one will ever abuse you again. She continued to be my patient for several months, and she steadily gained weight and now is very stabilized. My dearest ones, if you ever find yourselves in her neighborhood as you pass by, perhaps, just perhaps, you'll see a beautiful garden with Sarah attending to her flowers. And maybe, just maybe, if you're very lucky, she will ask you to stop and smell the roses with her. This, my dearest friends, is Barbara Klauser. Now, I wrote some healing poetry to go along with this very touching story. The poems are entitled Healing the Inner Child. So let's begin. When you're searching for a certain place, perhaps you think it's very far. But if you look a little closer, it's usually right where you are. And if you probe a little deeper and be courageous from the start, you'll discover that tiny, fragile someone is tucked deep inside your heart. Oh yes, it's usually a frightened child about the age of 2 or 3 that's longing for a tender touch but won't allow anyone to see just how vulnerable they're feeling, so small and unaware. For this little one is a part of you and simply needs your tender, loving care. Oh, please don't cry, little one. It hurts me when you're so sad. Let me hold you closer now. Listen to sweet stories that are sure to make you glad. Oh, I promise not to strike you, nor to scream to you real loud. And I promise never to leave you or lose you when we're walking in a crowd. And I will always be there for you, keeping you safe by my side. And as you grow, be sure to know you fill me with such deep pride. And I will never leave you. I will wipe away each tear. And in your little heart, I want you to know that Mommy will always be here. Dignity. It really doesn't matter what happened to you in the past. That terror is over for you at long, long last. Oh, and yes, you are worthy, no matter what was said. And truly you are beautiful, so lift your weary head. Begin to walk with dignity, and know for very sure that your way will stay clear and your heart is sweet and pure. And no matter what was done to you, tap the power that's deep inside and breathe for the first time a breath of freedom from the red crimson tide. And now that you have walked and have journeyed so very far, place a smile upon your lips and remember who you are. Isn't it just wonderful when we've worked out all the pain and truly erased all the guilt and begin to feel alive again. We truly erased the memories and forgave all the past by creating new and wondrous moments that will truly last. Well, there will be no sorrow, only good things done, as you and I walk together hand in hand into the setting sun. And now, how would you like to do a guided visualization with me so we can heal your inner child together? Let's begin. Let's take time right now to nurture that wounded child that's deep inside the inner chambers of your heart. Allow yourself to deal with the issues once and for all with me right now. Begin to realize there is a tiny child that is small and scared that's been hiding for a very long time in the deepest caverns of your heart. Why, this little one doesn't know it's been safe for a very long time, as its memory is stuck in the past. All the pain, emotional hurt, anger, and rage are rehearsed daily in your adult mind on a subconscious level. So go ahead, coax that little one of yours out and invite that little inner child to see the light of day. Tell that youngster it's safe and it will be all right. Do it tenderly and gently. Look at this child and gaze deeply into his or her eyes. Why, often the inner child feels abandoned and is deeply alone. Perhaps this child has headaches in the adult life from many blows to the head and on the small frame of the body, or suffers from stomach aches or ulcers or aches and pains all over the body. That's because the child in you was tied in knots from living in so much fear. Whatever physical ailments that had become repetitive when you were a child remains in the subconscious mind, and now it needs to be simply released. We need to free that child and heal that child and let it know that it is safe and secure. And when this takes place, your symptoms of discomfort in the body will disappear. You will be feeling lighter and freer. Now carefully remove and gently take your little child from the darkness. Place the child in your hands. Look deeply with love inside your small child's eyes. Oh, gather that beautiful, adorable little person into your arms and stroke its hair and pat its back. Reassure that child that it's all right to smile, to laugh, to make noise, to hop, to skip, to jump, and to run, and allow it to play. Oh, please learn how to frolic with your inner child. It's the child within you that smiles when you smile, and it's the child within you that laughs when you laugh, and it's the child within you that cries when you cry. Always recognize the needs of the small one and fulfill them beginning right now. Oh, tell that child from your lips and your heart that you love it now and forever. Remember, all children deserve to be loved, nurtured, and cared for. If this did not take place due to an abusive environment from the past, it can produce an adult that's withdrawn and depressed. It's very important to communicate feelings of safety, warmth, and tenderness, as these emotions are unfamiliar from an abused past. Oh, be patient with yourself and kind to your inner child. Allow it a gentle introduction to the kinder side of life. Perhaps you can take your child to an arts and crafts shop. Allow it to browse around and pick out a craft of its choice. Or allow your inner child to purchase a project that you can do together for the pure joy of it. Or perhaps, just simply perhaps, take a walk in the park. Take a ride on a swing. Go down a slide or even climb the jungle bars and sit on the top without a care in the world, dearest ones. Oh, allow yourself to giggle and to laugh more often. It is safe now to do so. Oh, maybe you can skip instead of walking once in a while. Whatever you do, all you do is to allow the actions to be filled with wide-eyed wonder with your eyes and your child's. You can look at things as if you're seeing them for the first time. Be sure you nurture that little child inside you often. Promise yourself never ignore that child within you ever again. That way you will feel safe and secure, and a new contentment will grow within you. Always remember to take time out to cultivate your creativity as this wonderful energy springs forth from your inner child for the very first time. It needs to express itself in a loving and whimsical way. Oh, remember to be kind to yourself, dearest ones, and reward yourselves more often. Cultivate the art of laughing and simply having fun. This is Barbara Clouser. Now in closing, I wrote, Angel Wisdom. Listen. Children laughing is music for the soul. A smile brings forth light. Always be sure of who you are. Enthusiasm erases despondency. Awareness produces sensitivity. Compassion is healing. Listen with your heart. The first 4 letters of heart spells hear. Respond intuitively. Oh, sing often. Forgiveness is freedom. The sound of a river is renewal. Now, my dearest ones, tuck that inner child back deep inside the caverns of your heart. But be sure to leave a light on so it can find its way. Well, I hope you enjoyed this program and it was a blessing and a healing for you. This is Barbara Clouser, wishing you and yours the very best that life has to offer. Please take good care of yourself. And if you enjoyed my show, won't you please take a moment to make a comment, rate, and perhaps sub? Well, I love you, and I will always love you. And you're just one phone call away from me, 209-825-7046. Take care, God bless, and bye for now. This is Barbara Clouser.